Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Electric Supercar channel featuring JerryRigEverything's electric converted Humvee. Today we're going to do some things related to the display. Let's get to it. So the display, sometimes I've seen it display things like voltage, state of charge, temperature, the battery temperature, and sometimes not. And then sometimes it'll display it and it's not accurate. So we've got to figure out what messages are getting through and which are not. All right, I could really use the win. Been going back and forth a lot. So, okay, here we go, flash. I don't know why I always give the odds, but I feel like the odds of this is working. They said it should work. I don't know. I just feel like maybe we're at 70%, but there's still going to be some issue why it won't work. All right, we're done flashing. Come on, reboot. Why don't you reboot? All right, I had to force a reboot. Actually unplugged it from the back so it wouldn't reboot. So see if it just pulls up the same program or a new program. Well, that's neither. It either seems to be not flashing or the flashing is ineffective, meaning it's not working. All right, here's how it is. Current screen, nothing is working. I say flash. It says flashing complete. Please disconnect USB and reboot. So I say, okay, disconnect. All right, for good measure, unplug the back, which kind of forces the reboot. And when it turns on, again, it will have a screen that is not functional. And there you go. Following some suggestions from people, I have disconnected some of the units on the CAN bus. So we do not have the vehicle control unit. I do not have the controller. So right now I just have the display and the battery management system, and I just want to see if we can get the display working. Okay, so it looks like most of those units are there. We'll try disconnecting the BMS and going for the controller. So this is just with the controller, nothing else. So now it is displaying the controller. All right, I'm slowly adding back systems, and I think what I'm learning is that the vehicle control unit tends to make these no longer update. Okay, so this is with the vehicle control unit removed, and I'm finding that I have to kind of reset every time, otherwise it tends not to regenerate with new numbers. And see, so when I remove that, I get the 60 kilowatts and I get all the controller parameters here as well. But because the vehicle control unit is not hooked up, I can't essentially step on the accelerator to try any of these other ones. All right, I will explain what I believe to be going on. So what you're seeing here, it does not update. So you see the motor says it's at 37 degrees. That is not accurate. So what happens if I disconnect the VCU, these ones tend to then update. So I'll show you that. So that plug's now no longer attached. And you'll see here that, again, the motor temp is dropping and is kind of displaying accurately. But because the vehicle control unit is not hooked up, I can't essentially step on the accelerator to try any of these other ones. So for whatever reason, when the VCU is connected, the display seems to not update. The other thing that I find a little disconcerting is the display just doesn't seem to update when it should, meaning if that's not the correct value, why is it displaying it? So again, when the VCU is connected, it displays things that I believe are not accurate. This is a prime example of what I'm talking about. So I took out the BMS, and you'll see here the display still is displaying. We've got so many kilowatt hours, state of charge, the voltage, and even the battery temp. Yet the BMS is not communicating any of those values. The sponsor of today's video is Tesmen. They make this multimeter, and we'll give it a shot here, and we also have some to give away. All right, we'll go ahead and unbox this. It's got a nice carrying case here. This looks like the leads are around 3 feet long. All right, so this one looks like it's for the backlight. On the back, it looks like it's got a flashlight. Hold this light down. So this is really cool. It's got the auto feature, and it will automatically try and detect what you're doing. So if I do this, it's checking for continuity. So this outlet is a 240 outlet. We're just gonna go from the ground to one of the legs. So that should be about 120. And again, this should be AC. And we're gonna check to see if this guy can figure that out. You can click this button here, and that will actually hold the value for you. All right, here we are at the Humvee. We're just gonna check the main 12-volt battery here. Again, this is a DC, so it should automatically detect it. 13.05. So lots of cool features, a little device, and you will be shocked at how affordable it is. If you have ever wanted to get anything like this, even just to check AA batteries in your drawer, this is a great deal. You can actually pick it up. I'll leave a link in the description below. It's less than $10. And I've got a coupon code that will let you get it for even less. Also remember, I'm gonna be giving 4 of these away. So contest rules are guess a number between 1 and 1,000, and the closest to the 4 numbers that I write down, I will send one of these out to you. If there are any ties, tiebreaker goes to the person that has the most comments on the channel. Also, you must be a subscriber to win. Good luck. All right, I just got some scratch paper here. I'm gonna write down the 4 numbers. Hey, no peeking. On this paper, next episode, we will reveal the winners. Also, it would be nice to see some creativity. So in the comments, also leave how you plan to use this multimeter. There really should be a way to switch off the high voltage. I've had instances, again, where the car's on and I really wanted the high voltage to be off. I've consulted with Zach, and I'm gonna put in a high voltage cutoff switch. The main positive for all the batteries is cable coming here, and it comes and it goes to right here. And so basically I'm just gonna interrupt that and put the switch there. All right, so this is what I ended up getting. Again, just a manual switch. All right, we're gonna be drilling in here again. This is to mount the cutoff switch. So there's been lots of concern about high voltage. I'm obviously concerned, but just so everybody's aware, I always disconnect the high voltage kind of from this side. So basically nothing in here is high voltage. We obviously still have the battery packs. Each one of these is, I believe, like 24 volts or something like that. So it's not super high, but nevertheless, we always are being super careful. This is the Andromeda display that we were trying to get things to talk with for a long time. Had a lot of back and forth with several folks, and we just couldn't get it to work as we wanted to. And it was kind of taking a long time. So I got with Zach, and we decided that we're gonna try out another display. We got a package. Let me show you what we got inside. So this is a different display. So we're going to try this one and see if we have any better luck. All right, so this is a communication cable. It's actually got a really nice connection here. Goes right onto this one. And this side has a mounting, like a surface mount, if you want to put it like on a plate or something, you can just plug in. So that's pretty nice. This is the main connector. All right, I think I've read through things to understand the connections enough. Basically, all we need is this 4-pin one. That'll give us power, ground, and CAN high and CAN low. All right, we're going to use our new multimeter to make sure we got the correct wires here. All right, that's got 13 volts. Just finished wiring this connector. I'll go ahead and make all the connections and then we'll power it up for the first time. All right, looks like it powered up okay. We use the cable here to load on the custom display that I've created for Zach. All right, so this is the custom display that I've made for Zach. We've got lots of things like this, the tachometer, RPM. This one we've actually got an odometer, which should be cool. Got motor temp, inverter temp. We also have the pack voltage. This is kind of like call it like a gas gauge, full and empty. State of charge, and this is also the pack temperature. What we need to do now is connect this and load it onto the display. All right, upload to display. Let's hope it works. All right, I think it did it. Let's see if it works. All right, here's the new display. I've got still several more things to figure out, but I think for the first time ever, I think I've got the miles per hour reading. So we'll go ahead and step on the pedal here. You'll see that rotate. So you see both the tachometer, miles per hour, that's all working, which is fantastic. Because that's one thing we can never get with the other one. So now I just got to figure out why some of these other ones aren't working. I made my second revision. And we're getting closer. So I've got motor temp, inverter temp, I got the pack volts, the state of charge. So I need my pack temp. I feel like that's like the little needle. I feel like it's probably just below. So I think it's maybe reading in Celsius instead of Fahrenheit. Other than that though, let's make sure this still works. So yeah, those still work. All right, I think I've got it now. So I've got the pack temp reading, state of charge, all the other temperatures are reading. Still have our RPMs as well as our miles per hour. This is also reading, it's just at 2 or 3 miles per hour. It doesn't register very much, so we'll try and get it to register here. There you go. So you got to see it a little bit there, but that's going to track how many amps we're pulling as well as regen. Whew, so I think we got it. It took maybe 3 times to kind of get it almost all working, and then maybe another 3 times to kind of fine tune it. So when I say fine tune, like this one had a decimal and it kind of kept fluttering. I didn't like that. So got rid of the decimal, got rid of a couple other values that I didn't like. All right, there is what they call a splash screen. That is kind of the first couple seconds when it boots up, it will display this. So it's the little things that count. We'll load this on and see if it works. So it'll load it here. Gives the status. There we go. All right, now we'll see if it does it when it boots up. Ha! That's awesome. There we go. We are going to top off Zach's Humvee here with some more coolant. So as you can see, these hoses and even the pump is above the current coolant level. So I believe this is when they had to redo some of the coolant stuff in one of Zach's videos. But before we drive it for any distance, we're going to go ahead and fill it up. So I've got the cup here. It's at the highest point of the vehicle system coolant. And we're going to use some special coolant. So this one, you'll notice it says for Tesla. And this is a special one. Normally it's like 50-50 antifreeze and water. Well, just regular old water will have minerals and other things that actually make it electrically conductive. So we want it electrically non-conductive, so if anything kind of gets near the batteries, we're not shorting things out. When I work on cars, I'm mostly trying to make sure systems work, and I'm gonna try and make it look pretty later. Well, it's later. As we're getting closer to the bugs being worked out, I think it's time to give the vehicle a wiring makeover. I will say for most garage-built cars, I would say this is very typical. In fact, actually, this is probably better than most. So I am by no means a master harness builder. I'm going to start with the ends that are furthest away, where it's just a few wires, and start by putting the sheathing around them. Trace them all back to larger and larger bunches of wires. So like we did for some of the other cabling, we want to also protect especially the high voltage cabling. So I've got some protective orange sheathing that will go around that. It'll protect it from just little road debris and things like that. All right, just like that. Got all of this all wrapped up. Should be good to go. Just in case you thought Zach was missing out, I am gonna leave him some stuff right here under the steering wheel. We're doing some speedometer testing as well as odometer testing. Zach did specifically say not to take the Humvee over any jumps. All right, we are uploading a new speed scaler. All right, in theory, we're good. Say this is what it looks like. I've not removed the protective film, but looks really good. The odometer is tracking, so we're at 3.4 miles. So we just gotta check the speedometer again, and I think we'll be good to go.
Oh, it's so cold.
As we're leaving this, I did want to make sure everybody knows Andromeda displays are used all over the place, and a lot of people have been very successful with them. It just didn't turn out for us this time. So it has been a very tough road. I would have liked this, and I'm sure Zach would have liked this to go a lot quicker, but I am very happy about the progress we've made. So I do want to thank a few folks who have put in a lot of extra time. John from Thunderstruck Motors, he's helped with a lot of different things with the VCU. Also Cortland with Dan Foss, he was on the UQM motor side inverter and helped with a lot of the DBC files. Even though it didn't quite work out for the Andromeda display, I want to thank Brian and his team for all their hard work as well. All right, everyone, that was a monumental effort. I know it's been a while for you guys. For me, I've been at it a lot. I am thrilled that we actually got this to this point. So very excited. I'm sure Zach is very anxious to get his baby back. The last thing that's left is the charging. So stay tuned. We will get that fixed as well. See you next time.